Hey everybody, we're here live on Change Our Mind, and I had this fight that I wanted to do with Jody because apparently Jody feels one way, and I think I can go the other way. So Jody, my man, welcome back. We were here live. This is part two of our fights. If you weren't watching live, you missed some of the in-betweens, but that's why you got to catch us live. But there are reports now that Deadpool 3 is unlikely to happen. This comes in from Deadpool creator Rob Liefeld, who's very vocal on Twitter, likes to get himself in there. Know what their plan for Deadpool is right now, and he said goose egg 0. I don't know. Here's what people don't want to hear, but thank God I'm a realist. I feel like Deadpool, the movies, they've set sail, Liefeld said. We got 2 brilliant movies, and we live in a culture that always looks forward because all they're ever selling us is next. It's just the fever. For me, as the fever calms down, people just need to calm down and realize that Deadpool 1 and 2 were released within the 2 years of each other, 2016, 2018, and I'm not really that crazy about Marvel's plan right now. He goes on, blah, 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 blah. I know what their plan for Deadpool is right now. And he said, no. Do I know what their plan for Deadpool is right now? Goose egg 0, 0. So here's where they stand. So my feedback to this is, one, Rob Liefeld wouldn't know what they're doing, to be perfectly honest. He's not a producer there. He's not involved. He's the comic writer. And I'm sure, he gets to get involved, but he's not, he likes to interject himself more in this than he actually is. And there have been several writers of Deadpool. There's even other people who say, well, come on, there's other people. So Rob Liefeld's not just trying to throw shade at him, but this just doesn't necessarily mean anything. But he's spurring a lot of conversation, at least, of like, well, can Deadpool 3 happen? And to me, it's rather than Liefeld's facts, which I don't even believe are facts, because he's just trying to make himself relevant in this conversation, which kind of annoys me because it's like, don't be so matter of fact. You were just pouty. He's like being a pouty child, saying, no, it's not happening. So to try and rally up his fans to try and get Disney to say, well, you better. And that's, to me, not the right approach. The real question, though, that comes from this is, should there be a Deadpool 3 under Disney, is the question I want to ask, Jody. I know where you stand because we were talking about this before, but your opinion is, no, Disney shouldn't be. Disney, if it's going to be Disney-fied, Disney shouldn't touch this brand.
That's right.
Is that where you stand?
Yeah, I don't think that it's wise because Deadpool is known for being rated R. It's known for being raunchy, sexual content, F-bombs, rude, crude behavior, funny fart jokes, all the rated R stuff that we normally don't see with superhero films. And Disney has made it very clear that they have no intention on going that rated R route, whether it be when they cast these popcorn formulaic family movies that we get with like Guardians of the Galaxy and Thor Ragnarok, to even adjusting Blade, that is a surefire rated R that should happen. They said no, PG-13. All the way looking at the previous director of Doctor Strange before Sam Raimi came on to take on the board, Scott Derrickson, I believe his name is, who he was on the D23 set with Kevin Feige, and a fan asked, is it gonna when Derrickson said it's gonna be the dark, we're gonna do a horror dark Doctor Strange, and the crowd was just they were like, yeah. And then someone in the crowd said, is it going to be rated R? Because that's a logical thing. You're saying you're going to make a horror MCU film. And then Kevin Feige answered the question for the director. He said, no, it's going to be PG-13 and you're going to like it. Some people laughed it off, but it left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth. Kevin Feige let the world know, bruh, we are PG-13 and under. We ain't going above that. Let me tell you, even hard PG-13 is almost non-existent in the MCU. I think Iron Man 1, Black Panther, and Endgame are the most PG-13 real films in the MCU, bro. After Kevin Feige said that, the world should have known. They still don't. Well, Deadpool is not going to be rated R, even though I've read news articles saying that they would. But we clearly see that there's no real future plans for him in the MCU, nor should there be, because what is a PG-13 Deadpool, bro? That just doesn't work.
I think, look, I disagree with some of the stuff you said, but let me to add to the argument here. Here's Rhett Reese, the writer, saying that a third movie absolutely can be rated R under Disney. He actually was quoted. This was just January. They were talking about it. He was saying that absolutely asked, could they, he said, can the next pull still happen? He said, we're working on it right now with the whole team. We're over at Marvel, which is like being in the big leagues all of a sudden. It's kind of crazy. So yeah, we're working on it. And they asked, could it be rated R? He said, absolutely, because I don't think it'll be under the Disney banner. Because he's also doing Zombieland Double Tap. Like, I don't think when you go to Deadpool 3, they're going to have the Magic Castle that appears. It's going to be under the Fox banner. So yes, well, then they're calling it, what is it? It's not Fox. It's 20th century films is what they could theoretically release it under. And then he went on to say, clearly, Deadpool clearly has been and will be Marvel branded, but we think there might be an opportunity for Marvel R brand for something like Deadpool, Iger said. As long as we let the audience know what's coming, we think we can manage that fine. This is from Bob Iger. And then even Kevin Feige said when Marvel Studios were purchased Studios were purchased by Disney, Bob said to us, if it's not broke, don't fix it. There's no question that Deadpool is working, so why would we change it? So here are the men in charge, which Liefeld is now trying to claim, well, what do they know? It's not happening. But I do believe it's going to happen. And I think what would be smart is if they did do a Deadpool film under the Fox banner, 20th Century Films, and actually prove to the fans, yeah, we can do this. Why not? We can make a Logan. They should. At some point, that would really earn respect with fans if they go all out and do it and say, you know what, fine. And if Feige is smart, and I think he has been smart, we've given him a lot of credit, that is something you have to have prepped ready. Maybe Black Panther can do that. Maybe they put Black Panther as a sort of a solo film on that banner under the Marvel thing, but still as a, not a Disney product. If they did that, then I'm totally on board, and then therefore Disney could still own it and then operate it and then make something pretty badass. Put those on Hulu, whatever they got to do. But I would still argue that you could still do Deadpool in the Disney world. Here's how: you bleep them. Now, look, I know that sounds stupid, but you can still have fun with it. If he's there as a supporting player in a team up movie, and he's wait, I think I have it. Hold on, can you send me that? You know what I'm looking for, Chris. Where's my soundboard, Chris? Can you?
Well, bleeping will take care of language. What about the sexual content and the violence?
All of that. He doesn't always have to be sexual. That's one thing. He can do innuendos. The There's just an approach about like you can cleverly write that well. And I believe Ryan Reynolds and the writers can work that line and he can even say like, "Oh God, I can't. Why am I here? I can't. This is Disney owns this one. I literally can't even say anything." Like there are clever ways to him to do a meta approach to sort of how to work within those boundaries. And I think you could do it in a clever way that could work to at least give us some opportunities with those characters. Now, of course, I'd much rather see the dirty, raunchy, or R-rated version of that, but there's a way to make that work if you actually use the bleeps and have him call out the bleeps and call out the meta, have him call out Kathleen Kennedy, whatever he's got to do. There are ways to take shots at Disney that can feel hard, but also still give you what you want from a Deadpool sort of jokey character who can be there. So I think there's a way to mix them all while still doing what they originally, as long as they still do what they promised of like having Deadpool there in the PG-13 attempt to sort of say, well, that's why we also have him in our R-rated attempt. So he can sort of say, look, they're still letting me do what I want to do, but when I want to show up with the Avengers, sometimes they bleep me. Is that ideal? No, but can it work? Yeah. Deadpool's been in the cartoons. Like he doesn't always have to be so raunchy. He can do things that don't have to always be F-bombs and sex jokes. He can still be raunchy and meta and boundary pushing without having to be, resort to the gross out stuff. You don't agree? It has to be foul language and sex jokes for Deadpool to work, Jody?
Yeah, that's who he is. That's the character. The character is all about vulgarity, the sexual content, the violence. That's all he is. He's a walking loose cannon. And when you take that away, what is he besides mediocre, stripped down, less talented and gifted Deathstroke? I mean, that's the only thing that separates the two, really. So you take that away from him, he's absolutely nothing. Take away the claws and the healing factor from Wolverine. That's what you're saying. Then Wolverine ain't nothing. I mean, Deadpool, that's his shining factor.
I think you in the comments, you're all being not creative enough. You're basically telling me that the jokes don't work unless he goes lowbrow. Unless he says the F-bomb and says, all the bodily organs he has to talk about. That's the only way it can be funny? I don't subscribe to that. If you are a good writer, you can make anything funny.
We're not saying that's the only way he can be funny. We're saying that's the only way he can be Deadpool. He'll be funny, but he won't be Deadpool.
He doesn't always curse in Deadpool movies. He just says irreverent things. He makes a bunch of like weird 90s movies references. Talks about salt and pepper. He's about being meta is what works. He goes all over the place. Sure, he curses, and that's sort of refreshing to see him curse because he doesn't get. But after a while, even the cursing becomes like, okay, it's like Cartman in South Park. Like, it's really funny when you hear Cartman curse. And then at a certain point, it's like
put a dildo on and was butt sexing him with a strap on. I'm pretty sure that
wasn't even Deadpool though. That was just him. That was Wade Wilson.
But
that's my point.
It's
but that's making my point. It doesn't have to. But yes, I hear what you're saying.
I'm
but
confused.
But I'm saying it's like telling me you can't make a funny movie without using F-bombs and sex jokes. That's what I'm arguing with you about.
Well,
and
no,
I'm saying, if you were making Deadpool movies under that banner, a different banner than Disney, the Fox banner, and it's R-rated, and you're giving us that, great. But then if he gets to show up once in a while in the Disney universe, but he's bleeped and he's annoyed that he's bleeped and he calls out that BS, I don't see why everyone's so against the idea. You got to hear it first. You got to see it first. It's like Deadpool's funny because Ryan Reynolds is funny.
I feel like you're confusing being funny with being Deadpool. Deadpool is more than just funny.
It's about funny isn't just F-bombs and sex jokes. I don't care who the character is. No, Deadpool's the funniest when he calls out superhero landing and he's calling out all the stupid, repetitive BS we've seen in those movies when he's being meta. Deadpool is meta, fourth wall breaking.
Well,
that's what makes Deadpool better. It's not just the sex jokes.
It's not just sex jokes.
We did a whole honest trailer and he didn't make a single sex joke and it was funny. My point is you can absolutely write funny jokes for Deadpool that don't require him being sex jokes and F-bombs. And anybody who says he needs those, to me, is not being creative.
What about the actions, though? There's more to jokes than just Deadpool. He kills and murders people with lots of blood and gore. He does sexually explicit things to people. He has sex in the movies, shows his cock, show a severed finger. Those type of things will be missing from an MCU Deadpool
But again,
film.
no. You're missing my point. I'm only agreeing to Deadpool making a cameo so we get him with Spider-Man and other people just to have that moment.
I thought you were talking about a whole Deadpool film.
A Deadpool movie would be done under a different banner and do whatever the hell they want. I'm saying you could make a Disney Deadpool in a Civil War type movie where he plays a character showing up in a subpart of a Marvel MCU.
Sure,
that's what I'm fighting for. In order to have, you can still have Marvel. You can have Deadpool be in that Marvel Disney universe by bleeping him, making sure he doesn't do that, not letting him do that. He calls it out. He rolls his eyes, whatever he's got to do. That's how you get away with it. You can still have him be there in a big montage and call out the stupidity of the movie and things that I think could still be funny. As long, and I would allow Disney to do that as long as they also make a new movie under a banner where he can do whatever the hell he wants. Do you get what I'm saying?
I thought this was, but I agree with that. You could put a Civil War cameo Deadpool scene where he just makes a couple of pop culture references and plays fair, and he's reserved and under control and very PG. Sure. But I thought we were talking about a Deadpool movie. That's
right.
What the
no,
news
I'm
is
saying
about.
right. I'm saying Disney
can't do a whole
Disney
movie about
can
that
because but Disney can do it under another banner. So therefore, Disney wouldn't just waste Deadpool. It wouldn't be
the
dead.
question that I have, what comes to my mind is if they release Deadpool under the Fox. I'm sorry. If
20th century
Deadpool
films
under the 20th century banner, will Deadpool be considered as a part of the MCU? I don't think he will be.
That's an interesting question. I mean, Feige makes it clear that they could put it under.
Nowhere in the article that you read, they said being a part of the MCU. They talked about releasing it under a different banner, which is basically they're saying, we could release it still with Fox. Separate. They did not say part of the MCU at all. I listened to you.
Here, well, they say Marvel branded is what they say.
Yeah,
Deadpool
Fox
clearly
has
all been and would be Marvel branded, but we think it might be an opportunity for a Marvel R brand for something that Deadpool
Fox
a Marvel R
Sony's
brand.
Marvel.
So yes, there would be a Marvel R brand. Yes, but what's nice about Deadpool is he's fourth wall breaking. He can sort of he's like in a Spider-Verse of his own. He can do whatever the hell he wants.
If they release that movie under the 20th century banner, I don't think he will be in the MCU.
Right, that's my point of. But Disney would make the movie, is all I'm saying. Because there's a part of me that wonders if Disney's going to.
Disney would make the movie.
There's a part of me that wonders if Disney's going to shelve Deadpool for the sake of we don't want to deal with that. My point is Disney owns it.
I believe it's true. I believe that we're not going to get a Deadpool movie for at least 4 years.
That's the real argument. But I'm saying, well, no, Disney could put it under Fox and they could release it. So I'm saying yes, Disney could do that, and I think Disney could also. I don't think Ryan or the writers would agree to make that Civil War MCU Deadpool moment or cameo or supporting role unless they are given a promise and a reassurance that yes, you will get your own movie. As long as they get their own movie is what I'm arguing. I'm curious, does that sway all of you? As long as they get their own movie that they could do what they want on a sub-brand that lets them have the blood, the raunchiness, whatever they want to do, then would you be cool with, all right, yeah, but he's also going to show up in a cool cameo in one of the MCU movies. He just can't curse or have blood. But they'll justify it, or he'll be annoyed about it, or he'll say something, oh, God, Disney's killing the... Disney sucks. I can't even slit this guy's throat. Are you telling me that? I can't do that? And they're like, who is he talking to? I think that could be funny. I would be down for that.
That would annoy me personally, and I think that it'll make a lot of people feel infuriated that they have to get a real Deadpool on the 20th Century brand versus the MCU brand. I think it'll divide the audience, in my opinion, and make Disney look bad.
I don't agree with that. I don't see why, because the Deadpool movies were on their own world.
If anything, want to see Deadpool and Wolverine. So is Deadpool going to be an X-Men? In the future?
you are adding interesting layers to this, which is valid. Does that mean you can't have any character show up? That's a good question. But could Hugh Jackman just show up for a one-off because it's in its own universe now? Maybe. Why would they care? You could do anything you want in that movie, and it still doesn't have to be part of the MCU. My point is, I saw a comment, and I agree. Deadpool 2 was not very good. I don't think it was nearly as good.
I hate Deadpool.
And so my point is like, okay, I don't really care. I think it could use a time off a little bit, to be honest. It's starting to be.
I tell you why?
Lightning in the bottle. Ryan Reynolds is great, but Ryan Reynolds is doing a lot of other stuff now, and I like him still. But it's the same shtick over and over again.
Do you know why Deadpool 2 is trash though? Because they tried to be like Disney and add that kid in there and make it kiddie. They tried to bring that kid boy in there that he was following around with the kid life, trying to be a tough little kid. Why is that little boy in this movie? Why am I watching him?
Well, then they also killed off the girlfriend right away. It was a bit of a mess of a movie. I agree. There's some funny parts, but it just showed that the character can wear thin. I agree. He would be better in smaller doses. So that's why I'm saying, okay, cool. I think they do need a team-up movie. Like, I think a Logan Deadpool movie would actually be pretty fun. Him in an X-Force movie could be pretty fun. And maybe they decide to make an X-Force sort of under that other banner, and that I'm down for that, honestly. I would prefer Deadpool to come back with other characters and not just be solely around him, because I do think it gets old. That's why I think it would be fun.
So basically what you're telling me is that he would be a fourth wall breaking Tony Stark.
Yeah, I mean, they're all that way. Or Star-Lord or any of the Spider-Man. They're all right there. Even Doctor Strange at this point is quippy.
So
they're all quippy.
What's Deadpool?
Yeah, but
what I'm saying. So
he can.
What is Deadpool's stick now?
He breaks the.
If you take away his semen, what does he have?
It's the wall breaking. It's the meta. It's the.
That's it.
Him and Spider-Man. Who's he talking to? What's going on?
Doesn't Spider-Man already kind of do that? You know that really old movie, The Empire.
But that's my point. There's something funny about the two of them actually getting along as nerds. And then, like, you know, Deadpool being able to talk to camera. I absolutely think. And someone was making a joke, well, they couldn't make Kathleen Kennedy or Bob Iger jokes. What if they did?
They will not.
But what if they did? My point is,
will not do that. What happened to the Michael Jackson episode when they got Simpsons?
Well, I mean, I don't have any idea where that's connected.
Disney don't play with that, bro. You cannot.
That wasn't
talk
Disney.
About
they were still with Fox at that point. That wasn't even Disney, dude.
No,
that was just Simpsons made that call. That was
Guy.
That was what's his name? James L. Brooks made that call, and that was before even Disney.
Sure.
Yeah. That was a while. That was oh no, I guess you're right. No, it was still in there. But still, James L. Brooks made that. Was it right when it was closed? It was last year, I guess. So no, they would have had it.
Yeah, Disney had it last year, brother.
It was leaving. It was right. The documentary was there. But so anyway, but it was James L. Brooks. I don't know that.
Pretty sure that was Disney.
And either way, my point being, I think you could figure out a way to work both of them in. But I still think Deadpool only works in a supporting role. What do you guys think down in the comments below? I cut this for a special episode. We'll keep talking for a minute here. Join us live every Tuesday. Make sure you subscribe to my man Jody over Jody's Corner if you haven't already. Or follow me over on Twitch. We talk more about this on Tuesday nights, Thursday nights, and then I'm over there on Wednesday nights. And Jody's doing stuff all week. So subscribe to our channel. Thanks so much for watching. What do you guys think? Do you want Deadpool? Do you think Jody's right? Do you think, would you give Disney an opportunity to put Deadpool in a cameo if they at least put him in another movie? Tell us down in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe. Tune in for more. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.